It was a normal day in Doug Smith's life.
Bum.
And then, disaster struck. And then just cuts to me saying, no, it doesn't show up for another couple weeks.
God damn it!
See, we can make this...
Thanks, Obama.
We can make this a trailer. That would be the title of the movie. Thanks, Obama.
Good evening. Welcome to episode 9 of the Mr. Smith and Mr. Jones podcast. I'm Doug Smith, and with me as always is my friend Nathan Jones.
Surprise, motherfucker.
That was pretty good. That was really good. Resonating deep voice there. I like that.
I can't be Dokes. I mean, Dokes is just... He's just too...
He's got a nice bass tan.
He's got a nice bass tan, and also, I don't have enough surprise factor like he does. He got Dexter good.
He did. He really lived up to that role as far as a guy that just says surprise motherfucker.
And
I mean, if that's all that was expected of him, he nailed that one part at least. Wasn't the greatest detective, but...
No. Well, I was going to say, I don't know if any of you out there know, but I don't know if we've talked about this before, but I know where. I'm pretty sure you know where I'm going here. Doug, he kind of looks a little bit like Michael C. Hall here.
I bear a passing resemblance to a serial killer.
And for the first couple months I worked with him, I was kind of terrified to talk to him because he had a very similar demeanor as Dexter, and so I was kind of scared, but as I was watching Dexter at the same time, so... That might have been the correlation there. I don't know.
Causality, perhaps. Whatever.
But anyway.
But today's date, December 1st, 2017. I was just let down. We were having a discussion.
Oh, no.
2 movies came out today, but they're only limited release. And I can't go see them tomorrow, which pisses me the fuck off.
Is that Shape of Water?
Yeah, The Shape of Water and The Disaster Artist.
Yeah. I want to see those so bad, too.
Yeah. So, you just posted up a YouTube video... showcasing your reaction to...
I did not do this.
You did not do this? Are you sure about that?
You're tearing me apart, Doug. Yes, I put up a YouTube video for The Room. Mm-hmm. What I did was I had my Q&A, and I'll talk a little bit about my YouTube channel and how it's actually growing a lot right now. But this particular video I shot with my best friend Ben, who was in town. Mm-hmm. And what happened was we went over to his house, and we set it up to pretty much where I was going to record our initial reactions, like what are we going to think going into this movie? And then I filmed it as it was happening, and the result is priceless. I highly recommend it. It's the funniest video I've ever shot.
For anybody that's not aware of what The Room is, it is coined by most people as the worst movie of all time.
The best worst movie.
The best worst movie. I mean, the only way I can think of to describe it is if you had money to finance a film and you randomly went door to door and you just found the first person that opened the door and said, okay, I need you to write a script in one day about whatever you want, and we're going to go film a movie with everybody that's on this block.
Dude, I would make such a better movie in one day.
I would actually make a better movie than The Room. No, it is awkward as fuck. I mean,
yeah.
Terrible dialogue. It's I don't know.
It's kind of a porno too, by the way.
It is.
The first 5 minutes.
There's 2 sex scenes in under 10 minutes.
Yes, I was going to say the first 10 minutes were definitely 2 sex scenes, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is where this is going.
Yeah, it plays off like a cheesy Cinemax porno, only worse. Like
mixed with like a daytime drama.
Yeah,
soap opera.
Soap opera. It came out in 2003, but it looks like it was filmed in 1991. There's a lot special going, but there's really only 2 sets in the entire movie.
Yeah,
and
then a field.
Yeah,
sometime
so basically, this movie's garnered a cult following for being a horrendous movie. In fact, it's the basis of The Disaster Artist, which is what I'm disappointed that I thought I was going to get to go see tomorrow, but not the case.
I can't wait to see that. I actually just got out of the theaters, and they played another trailer for Disaster Artist, and every single time I see it, I still laugh and. Mm-hmm. At just the trailer alone.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing, too, how much of a resemblance James Franco has to Tommy Wiseau. He just looks like him. I mean, all you have to do is put the long hair wig on him, and he's got that to a T.
He's got that bony kind of structure face.
Yeah. Which of all the characters to like try to recreate for James Franco, this one's probably the easiest in that Tommy Wiseau is a terrible actor.
Oh, yeah.
And he's only got one real mannerism that you really have to get down, and that's his little awkward side laugh. Yeah. Once you get that down, you've got Tommy Wiseau. Yeah.
And it's also crazy just the background of him. Apparently he's like super secretive.
Super secretive. He's much older than he's ever allowed.
I'm from New Orleans. This is New Orleans accent, yes?
Yeah. Turns out he's really Polish, and he was like 20 years older than he was telling people he was. It's weird. A lot of people thought that The Room was like a money laundering scheme for the mob, and that's how he was getting some of his finance.
I mean, I think he's a millionaire, isn't he?
He's a very successful financial person. No one can really derive how and why he has money.
How he got money.
Yeah, and how he's kept it. Because he comes across as a very unintelligent person.
Sure. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't want to say stupid, because that, unintelligent. I mean, he's clearly, he's got, some kind of intelligence.
He's like the Geico caveman of real life.
I just don't get it.
Yeah,
but I'm actually thankful that it exists, and because I like making fun of that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and
I'm anxious to see this movie because I want to find a little more about the background of why and how this god awful movie
we need to read the
took
book,
place. Yeah.
or at least listen to the.
I mean, there's already a making of documentary that was released, and which is kind of what The Disaster Artist is kind of based its story off of.
Yeah.
So. But you said you just came from the movies. What did you just see?
I did. I just saw 3 billboards outside of Ebbing, Missouri, and I know we're in Missouri ourselves, so it's a little plus there. Yep. But this is the newest movie by Martin McDonagh, who is one of my favorite directors. He's an Irish kind of screenwriter originally. He came out of theater, and he did In Bruges, and he did Seven Psychopaths, which is the newest thing he did with Sam Rockwell and Christopher Walken. And Sam Rockwell's actually in this movie as well, and it's really about Frances McDormand. What happens is she lost her daughter, and she was... I mean, I don't want to really get into it, but like she's dead, obviously.
Yeah, daughter died, and she's upset with how it's been handled.
How it's been handled by Chief Willoughby, who is actually Woody Harrelson, who's the sheriff of the town, and Sam Rockwell's just one of the deputies. And pretty much what happens is she's pretty much holding the police accountable for like not being able to catch the murder. And there's a lot of crazy things that happens in this just small town, and it's. If you've ever seen In Bruges or Seven Psychopaths, Martin McDonagh has a very specific style. He likes to add a lot of witty dialogue, really crude, and like kind of over the top. Kind of just he's got a very foul mouth, and I like that. He really enjoys like kind of violence in his movies in some kind of way, some kind of shoot 'em up kind of way, but it's usually very, very stylish and very. In the, like I said, Shakespearean sense, because he has that background.
Yeah, it's not violence for the sake of violence like Mark Millar.
No, it definitely has basis in philosophy, and that's what I love about all his films. And there's a couple times that I came close to tearing up a little bit.
These damn onions in this theater.
They serve food, so yeah, I'm going to blame it on the onions. But I would highly recommend this movie to anyone who's listening out there, unless you kind of have brittle skin. I teach some students who are like that, and so I would say definitely go check this movie out. I've also seen some other things.
What else have you seen?
There's Justice League, which I'll have you talk about as well, because we both saw that movie.
Yeah.
But I'll get these ones out of the way. Florida Project.
Okay. This one I didn't even know anything about, so...
It's an A24 movie, so another independent film. A24 is just chugging it out. Disaster Artist is an A24 film, so I mean they're just getting bigger.
Very good production house.
They're just getting bigger and bigger. I mean they won Moonlight last year.
Yeah.
And so, but anyway, this is the only main guy that anyone really knows in this movie is William Dafoe, and he is kind of just pretty much the third character in this movie, because there's an 8-year-old who plays a 6-year-old, and it's really about her. And the 6-year-old, what happens is they're all in Florida, Orlando, in this like kind of motel.
Well, they better be.
They better be. Well, really, I mean, it's the most magical place on Earth, and that's actually kind of the double entendre of the movie, is because they live in this motel. They're barely making it, and it's really just following this 6-year-old girl and her adventures. And she's honestly just doing horrible stuff. I mean, we did horrible stuff as we were kids.
Yeah, but she's taking it to the next level.
Yeah, she's like Well, I mean, obviously she like spits on cars, which we probably did. But she's also like, ding dong ditching people, asking people for money.
Okay,
just like pickpocketing,
crossing the line a little bit,
just slightly crossing the line. But she's obviously just a kid still. Mm-hmm. But her mom, who is probably around my age, probably around 25, 26, just mid 20s. Really has no direction, and honestly makes a lot of really terrible decisions. And so William Dafoe is kind of the manager of that place, and pretty much is just trying to be a father figure. Mm-hmm. And it's initially, if you watch the trailer, it comes across as a coming of age movie, more so. But it's a mixture of that, and it's like super dramatic, and it's also really hard to watch. Just a lot of the things that go down in that movie. But I would highly recommend it if you are in the mood for an art house kind of film.
Cool.
Just a realistic kind of film, because it does play out, like I said, on that most magical place on earth, because it's a beautiful movie. Mm-hmm. You just see a bunch of the colors, the kind of the touristy,
the color palette.
Yeah, you see all the buildings that are purple and orange and green. He did Tangerine, this director. I cannot remember his name off the top of my head, but I've never seen that movie. But I've seen the trailer for that, and it's also very colorful.
Yep.
And then the other thing I saw was Ladybird, which this movie is gonna win an Oscar somehow. I am not,
fingers crossed.
Oh, I know it will. Either because
bold claim.
Well, it's in the actresses, the two actresses, the mom and the daughter. So this is a coming of age. This is actually a coming of age movie. Saoirse Ronan. I can't know if I said her name right. She did Brooklyn.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how I would say it.
Saoirse. I'm pretty sure it's that way. But she is the main character, and she's I can't remember her exact name. I have to look it up, but. She plays this daughter who is kind of troubled, and they're like, she's a senior in high school, and there's a lot of crazy things that happen. It's like I said, it's like 16 Candles or Pretty in Pink. There's a lot of those kind of elements. However, where those ones are more divorced in like kind of a fantasy, kind of like harkening back to that time period.
Yeah. They're a little too Hollywood washed, romanticized with, hey, Prince Charming's going to show up in a Porsche and rescue you. Yeah,
and then like it's like kind of like that, and like Dazed and Confused. It's not really hyper stylized in that way, or it's not super drug oriented or anything. It's really a movie about a father and daughter relationship, and it's really hard to watch as well. It's really kind of heartbreaking in some moments, but I would highly recommend that because both the mom and the daughter have just huge roles, and I didn't make a movie review of it because I didn't know really what to say, but I just know how good it is.
That's why you just give it a smile and a thumbs up.
A whole two thumbs up from Nate. But we both saw Justice League, didn't we?
Yeah, so Justice League, that happened. No, like I had some interesting turnaround feelings about Justice League today because I was looking up. There's been a lot of speculation and ground swelling about people wanting to see and hear and find out more about the Zack Snyder's original cut and vision for this movie, because a lot of people know that there was a lot of tumultuous, things going on. He left the
reshoots because of
reshoots, and then Josh Whedon came in and there was changes for him. So it's a very muddy film, and you can tell when you watch Justice League that there was a lot going on in the background of the production of this movie. There was clearly things that were not tangentially aligned. You can tell a plot starts to be set in motion here, and then it just gets forgotten about, and then it fades off, and then there's something else that gets referenced that never really got established, and you're like, what the hell? So it's a very disjointed movie.
Yeah.
Overall, I would say it's watchable. It's not a terrible.
It's definitely watchable. Yeah. I enjoyed it.
It's better than Suicide Squad.
Oh, for sure.
To me, I struggle with it's better than Batman vs Superman.
I agree.
It's nowhere near Wonder Woman, and it's still nowhere near a Marvel movie.
No.
But I was reading all the stuff that got deleted and cut that was Zack Snyder's, because I guess before he walked away and dealt with his family situation, he gave the Warner executives, said, hey, here's my cut, this is everything. I mean, because essentially he
had everything but post-production.
Yeah, everything was done, but they weren't happy with it, and they cut it down, and they requested the reshoots, and they brought Whedon and micromanaged the shit out of it. But
there's some really good moments that Whedon put in. I can tell it was him.
There was so much more, though, that was cut out that I found out today that really would have made this movie so much more enjoyable, made much more sense, and as a whole made his little trilogy of DC films make a whole lot more sense. And
really?
I'm really pissed off.
Well, spoilers, by the way. Everyone, who's listening right now, I want to hear this. So if you haven't seen Justice League, go watch it before listening to this. But we're getting into spoiler territory.
Yeah, so this is definitely spoiler territory. So go ahead and scroll the little mouse or whatever you're listening to about 5 minutes forward or whatever, because I'm going to reveal some stuff that is definite spoilers. So one of the things that was cut out of the movie was Barry Allen scene where he's rescuing Iris West.
Wow!
So it's a scene that we saw in the trailers where he's putting the finger through the glass and it like shatters and looks all cool. So I guess she's somehow in this car accident and he's rescuing her, and that's kind of... So that was cut out completely, so no Barry Allen saving the day other than just him joking around. There was a lot more establishment when Batman meets Aquaman for the first time.
For sure, I noticed that immediately when lot of the stuff
there's a lot of stuff in the trailer that got cut out of there. I guess the original intent was Aquaman was supposed to be a lot more cold and shutting him down. There wasn't supposed to be the witty back and forth, the Whedon-esque thing you could pick up on. Steppenwolf, he was originally, when he first got the first mother box, it was supposed to speak to him, and it was actually supposed to be his mother in the box, Hedra, and she was going to tell him that if you get all three of the mother boxes together, it releases her, which then in turn gives her the ability to give him more power, and then he can overthrow Darkseid.
Oh, wow.
So that gives more credence to why the fuck does he want these mother boxes?
Yeah, instead of just like, I need to prove myself to Darkseid.
There was an entire origin and establishing story that was shot for Cyborg, of which there's a scene where he's a fantastic athlete, so he's at a football game, he has a great game, his mother's there to watch. His dad's never there, so his dad's not there. After the football game, they get in the car and they're driving home, and he's pissed off that dad wasn't there, and he's doing his little brooding thing.
Yeah.
Him and his mom argue, and while they're arguing, he gets distracted, gets in a car crash. Mom dies. He almost dies. Hence how he becomes a cybernetic person.
Exactly.
Never explained in the movie whatsoever. You just said you're given. Here's a guy that's 95% robot. Bad shit happened to him or something.
Oh yeah, I mean you get the context a little bit, but you don't really see it. And I remember, in the like contingency files in like Batman vs Superman, you see like the aftermath of like the father trying to put him together. Yeah,
which it just changes the whole dynamic of the father character too, because in Justice League you're thought to think he's kind of like a sympathetic father or whatever, when in reality he was never their father. No. He was always in the lab doing shit, and he's never present there for his son. So that really changes the dynamic there. Another one that pisses me off.
Not enough weight.
So Steppenwolf, once he does collect the mother boxes, he Superman comes in, saves the day, and as Superman is trying to fight Steppenwolf, he makes contact with the mother box, and he sees an image of Darkseid, so we actually get to see Darkseid as opposed to just hear his fucking name one time in the movie. Then, after that, Steppenwolf pulls Cyborg off of when he's trying to separate the mother boxes in the final climax, and rips Cyborg in half. Cyborg was initially supposed to die.
Oh.
So they changed that completely, obviously.
Wow.
The original Stinger, I'm trying to remember, there was like 30, 40 different scenes. I mean, there was a bunch cut from this. I'm trying to remember what the original after credit scene was supposed to be Batman waking up to a disturbance in his lake house, and he wakes up to a bright green light, and Tomar Ray and fucking Kilowog show up in their Green Lantern outfits, so that was supposed to be that. And
so you would have got John Stewart?
I don't know, but you assume. And then what else was there? Oh yeah, there was I'm trying to remember. There's a bunch of good shit cut out.
That sounds like totally different movie.
Absolutely,
and like a different tone too.
Different tone, especially.
And there's a lot more weight put on. I mean, obviously, we'll see a kind of a bastardized version of that in the extended, because I'm sure there's going to be extended just like the Batman Superman was. But it's not going to be Cyborg dying. No. It's not going to be...
It won't be the Richard Donner cut, so to speak, where you actually get to see Snyder's vision. It'll just be like, here, we gave you a couple of bonus clips.
No Green Lantern stuff.
Yeah. That was another thing in the flashback,
Yeah, that was cool.
The flashback, well, apparently the Green Lantern, Ares and Zeus were all supposed to have speaking roles.
Oh.
Those all got cut.
It's just for like one of those big flashbacks that didn't really. It's like it set up the story, but like
it was cool to say, "Oh, cool, there is a Green Lantern," but other than that, we didn't get anything out of it.
It's kind of like the very first scene in Fellowship, but you at least get some context behind Elrond and Isildur. Like they have speaking roles, and like you get a little bit more than just like, hey, this battle happened.
Yeah.
You need to hear the setup of this entire thing.
Shit happened.
Yeah.
Deathstroke was originally the one that broke Lex Luthor out of jail. There was a scene where that's explained,
that
and then
sweet.
The cops are onto them, so they go their separate ways, and they just say, "Hey, let's go meet up at that location that we talked about." So that would have made more sense, and I would have preferred that as opposed to the after. I mean, it was cool, Deathstroke, but I would have preferred a Green Lantern
setting up some kind of Legion of Doom, kind of thing, which I'm actually excited for.
I think that's the only way they save this franchise is to go to Legion of Doom, because they've already they can't do the dark side now because they fucking ruined it with this one. I mean, what they started to set up, Josh Whedon was forced to kind of close the door on that. He said, no, we're not going to do dark side, because originally they had planned Justice League to be a two-parter, and you can tell that was Snyder's intention. And then when they pulled the reins back and said, we're not going to do that anymore, Whedon was forced to go in and remove all the dark side shit and just kind of encapsulate this into a one arcing story.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a completely different movie.
I know, and as soon as I read that, I was like, shit, that kind of changes my opinion of this movie, because if I see that cut, I give this movie a whole different rating completely.
Yeah, that's something. That besides that, I had some problem with some of the CGI, especially with the Flash.
There's, for whatever reason, he ran weird.
He ran pretty weird. Obviously,
his hips. I don't know what was going. Like at first, I thought he was like getting into the groove and it was going to like level out.
But it was just
bad CGI.
Bad CGI, yeah. Mm-hmm. On top of obviously the thing that everyone already knows, but Henry Cavill's mustache.
Yeah, the blurry upper lip, that was more glaringly obvious than I expected it to be.
Especially in the very beginning.
Yeah, that opening scene, that was not good.
Hey, by the way, speaking of that, Warner Brothers, I know you're doing this, but also Disney, you did the same thing with Rogue One. Watch it. With Leia and Tarkin. That was, I mean, I get it. It's a nice thing to do and having like kind of an homage to it. However,
nice tip of the cap, but it was it pulls you out of the experience because you're like, whoa, that don't look right.
Exactly. That would be like one of my only flaws with Rogue One, but obviously we're not going to get into that story. But geez, back to normal. We're back to you can listen to this now if you're.
So magically, now that you've went forward in time,
you know exactly what
we're done with the spoiler territory of Justice League.
Would have been a different movie.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and you got any more movies or?
No, those are the ones I watched recently.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get into some entertainment news. So it's really kind of a repeat. It seems like every fucking day somebody's getting busted for sexual assault or allegations or just...
Stop whipping your dick out, people.
Just overall bad juju.
Bad juju.
Yeah, people are making terrible decisions. Matt Lauer got fired from NBC. Guy makes $25 million a year, hosted the Olympics. Like, couldn't get more cushy than the way he had it. That one surprised a lot of people. I don't think... when I hear Matt Lauer, I don't think, okay, that guy's probably a sleazebag. A lot of these people, I'm like, no surprise. But Matt Lauer kind of caught the rest of the world by surprise.
It did, too, to me. I mean, obviously, I don't really follow NBC or MSNBC.
Yeah, I don't wake up every morning and watch the Today Show, but I know that's what he does. And like I said,
his personality didn't seem like he would, be that type of guy.
Turns out he is.
Well, can't trust anyone anymore.
Yeah. Apparently, one of the reports I read was he was a big fan of the fuck, kill, and marry joke.
Oh boy. I mean, I do that in the bar.
Yeah.
But like,
there's a time and a place for it.
There's a time and a place for that, and usually it's in good nature, and usually it's the three of us like are usually talking about each other, not anyone else.
A small closed congregation of friends, not random people that are on the set that you've never met before.
Damn it, Matt.
So that was one thing, and I guess he was, getting handsy with some others and making inappropriate moves. Just being a sleazeball. Another one was Andrew, was it Kreisberg? Yeah, Kreisberg. So he's the showrunner of the Flash and Supergirl shows on CW.
Oh, really? I didn't know about this one.
Yeah, and he was also the co-producer of the Arrowverse. So basically, he's had
hands in all those.
Yeah, he's been the Kevin Feige of the DC TV universe, so to speak. He's been the one that's kind of been connecting all their shows currently. So last month he got suspended for pending allegations and them doing an investigation on all the reports they were getting. Yesterday they went ahead and fired him.
Yeah, I mean, you have to cut that cord.
Yeah, they said they had enough evidence and they've heard enough that he's definitely guilty of some, if not all, of these allegations. So they cut the ties. That's going to be a big to-do with these shows because he was the actual showrunner. He was the one dictating what storylines they tell, how they tell them, and what goes on. So it'll be interesting to see who comes in and fills that spot because it was very integral as far as how all 4 of those CW TV shows connect and how they flow together.
Keep up with it, honestly.
There's a lot of it now.
I mean, there's that and DC's, what is it, Something Tomorrow?
Yeah, that one's terrible. Legends. They've got 4 shows. They're going to have a 5th one.
What's the 5th one?
Black Lightning.
Okay.
And then this season, the last 3 seasons they've had a connecting, overarching story where they have like a 1 episode
for each show.
Which it's cool if you watch all of the shows. If you want to watch a few of them like I do, because some of them are just not good.
Yeah.
Then you're like, shit, I've got to sit through an episode of this garbage show just so I can understand what the hell's going on.
And clearly, when I said I couldn't remember what Legend of Tomorrow's name was, that was
the show.
That's one of the shows that I'm like, I don't really follow. I mean, I follow Little Arrow. I liked it initially. I like the 2nd season the most. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen the newest season, nor have I seen the newest season of Flash, but I would say out of all of it, The Flash is probably the best.
I would agree. Having watched all the season, I will tell you The Flash is the best quality.
And I heard Supergirl's okay.
Yeah, I need to give it another shot. I actually own it all, which is funny. I just haven't watched it. I watched the first 2 episodes when it first came out, and it was on CBS. And I was like, this is dog shit that was written for an 8-year-old girl. Obviously, I'm not that demographic, so I understand it doesn't appeal to me. What? So I gave up on it. A lot of people said it got better as the season progressed, and then I heard when it moved over to CW, it got 10 times better. I just haven't sat down and said, you know what, I'm going to spend 12 hours of my life and watch Supergirl.
That's what happened. I heard that's what Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. did, too, a little bit. It got a little bit better. I mean, I didn't watch it.
It did get better when it stopped trying
to connect to the movie.
Yeah, that was their biggest thing, is they weren't given enough scrap, so to speak, from the movie.
Yeah, because not enough people really connect that with the movie.
No, so once they started just doing their own thing, it got better. It's still, got cheesy effects because it's got a limited TV budget, so that's kind of a downfall. But other than that, it's definitely a watchable show.
On top of bringing back a certain agent that should be dead.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have done that, I'm sorry. I know, whoever's a fan out there, they shouldn't have brought Agent Coulson back. It makes more sense for him to be dead.
Yeah. The funny thing is, it's never ever referenced again in the Marvel universe. It's not like they said, "Oh, by the way, you know that guy you got all sad about dying in the first one? He's back." Which is, it's fine. The Avengers got better shit to do. But
and speaking of Avengers,
the
new Avengers trailer.
It did. It came out this week. So was it Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that dropped Wednesday. Exactly. I was expecting it to be on a Tonight Show or something. They just said Wednesday. So I expected it'll be on Kimmel or attached to a football game or something like that. That's generally how they release these big trailers nowadays.
They just put it on YouTube, right?
Yeah, I just woke up and it was there at like 7 a.m. I was like, holy shit, this is awesome. So I sat there and watched it.
It was a different trailer than
it was a different trailer. Yeah, I saw one at Comic-Con, which was good. And this one has a lot of the same scenes, and it has a lot of different scenes.
Looks like a different kind of movie.
It does, and I can definitely tell that there's some misdirection in it, because the Comic-Con trailer... spoilers if you haven't seen Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah. Spoilers, here we go.
So this is only like a 10-second spoiler, so don't worry.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, so Thor loses his eye.
Yep. He becomes Odin, pretty much.
So at the Comic-Con trailer, they had it edited to where you can't tell that he's missing an eye. You see both of his eyes. Yeah. So you never know that happened. So I'm like, okay. So I'm kind of thinking that the same thing is going on with some of the things we saw in this trailer. I think they're purposely misleading, and I think they're also heavily edited just to not reveal certain things that are going to happen in the movie. One of them being when he puts on the Infinity Gauntlet, and he's only got like two or three
of them. Yeah,
I think he's got all of them at that point. I think it's just edited to.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously you saw him fucking with Vision.
Yeah.
So
you saw somebody fucking with Vision, because I know one thing that's in this movie.
Some of his generals.
He's got, was it like the Black Squad or Black? I don't know. He's got a legion of henchmen that show up and kind of do a lot of his.
Hickman
created. It was in his Infinity run.
Yeah, it's his generals, pretty much.
Yeah, so they're in this movie. There's a couple of characters that aren't in the trailer at all, and I know for one reason why one of them's not. Hawkeye's not in this trailer. Ant-Man's not in this trailer.
Yeah, I noticed. That was my initial... Cause, by the way, this is big news. I lost my beard. And I know this is a side story, but I side story, diversion. I really love Paul Rudd and Ant-Man, and many of my friends and some people I don't know, that's my celebrity lookalike, apparently, at least in my eyes. And so when I noticed that Paul Rudd wasn't there, I was mad.
Yeah.
And then people were like, "Oh, maybe he was there because he's a small ant." And I'm like, and I'm all like, "You're ridiculous."
That's a reach.
Yeah, like you're reaching. Ha ha ha. But the Ant-Man and Wasp movie's coming out between the Avengers movies, so I have a feeling
so it comes out 2 months after Infinity War, so it'll obviously
he'll be somewhere else.
Deal with repercussions of what happened there. I know he's in the movie. He's already been caught on set, and I know specifically why Hawkeye wasn't in the trailer. That's kind of spoiler territory, so I won't really go into that. We'll sidebar that because I don't want to talk any more spoilers.
Sure. Let's not get into the spoilers.
But great trailer. I'm excited for it.
I'm excited too.
I got excited when I saw it at Comic-Con just for the Spidey sense thing. I got super...
Oh, yeah. Fine. I actually was talking to one of my friends about the Spidey sense thing because he didn't really notice when Homecoming didn't have...
He didn't have it at all. It wasn't even established. And I was like, well, that's one of the nerd, traits, critiques I had about that movie. It's like, where the hell's the Spidey sense? But it looks like he's got it.
I think he's developing it. Yeah. Because he's, growing up. That's probably the direction they're going to go. They're like, hey, I know we forgot the Spidey sense, so... He's just growing into it. See,
puberty's a bitch. He gets a new suit.
Yeah, I know. It looks like an Iron Spider.
Yep,
I like it.
I wish it was the Iron Spider colors, but I understand why they wouldn't because it would just look like too much Iron Man.
Yeah, they wanted also divorce from the comic a little bit.
Captain America's got a sweet beard.
I know, and I guess who doesn't? Me.
Yeah. But very excited for Infinity War trailer. Other news, I saw Stranger Things got renewed for season 3.
Of course,
no surprise there. That is Netflix's cash cow right now. It's their own IP that they own 100%. They're not borrowing it or leasing it for somebody else. This is their own creation. The Marvel shows have been great, but they obviously don't own all the content there. They just have the kind of the distributor.
Do a trailer for like a penny.
Yeah, exactly. But Stranger Things season 3. So hopefully this next October we'll be watching that.
I'm looking forward to more Stranger Things.
And this one I thought was really interesting. So David Goyer has been announced to direct the new Masters of the Universe reboot.
Really?
So He-Man live action again. Hasn't been done since 1987, Dolph Lundgren.
Yep. That movie.
And Courtney Cox, I think, was also in that movie.
Yeah, Courtney Cox.
But it's for its time, 1987.
Sure.
It's a goodish movie.
Came out in
it's
87?
Yeah.
So 30 years?
Yeah. Good children's movie.
Speaking of 30 years, I'll get to that in a second, but go back to He-Man.
So David Goyer, if you're not familiar with him, you should be.
He definitely should be.
He's written and produced and directed lots of things.
Batman Begins, he's done a lot of work
He
with.
wrote all 3 of the Dark Knight trilogy movies. So Christopher Nolan's Batman franchise that everyone pats Christopher Nolan on the back for making this glorious thing that we love. And
he's good visually on that one. But
David Goyer wrote it all. So that's where the true credit goes.
And then a small plug that Doug told me about years ago when we used to work together, Da Vinci's Demons.
Yes, I fucking love that show.
I love that show too, and not enough people knew about it.
No, and that's why it got canceled early.
It died down, but it's a great show too about Da Vinci and young Da Vinci, kind of that in between Leonardo da Vinci's early ages. So it was a really cool.
Very well done show.
Stars.
Yeah,
had it.
So this is scheduled to come out in December 18th, 2019, which I thought was very interesting. For the sole purpose of December, especially in the middle of December, ever since Disney bought Star Wars, it's kind of been, that's their time frame. They've essentially said, hey, guess what? We're going to release a movie in December for the next 30 fucking years.
For sure, yeah.
So I thought that was highly ballsy for them to request a release date like that. I don't think there's currently a Star Wars movie announced for that time frame, but I guarantee there will be.
Sure. I think, I know they're probably going to do...
Because I'm not sure, I was about to say the Han Solo, that would kind of line up, but I thought it was maybe coming out in March or May-ish.
2019?
No, 18. Because it's already done shooting.
Oh, that quick?
Yeah, well, it was already...
next year?
Yeah,
March?
It could be.
Maybe a summer release. That would be nice.
That would make more sense.
That would make more sense.
But, hell, they could wait all the way till December.
Sure.
We'll see.
They like the Christmas money. when everyone's on holiday pay. I mean, that's what everyone's going to be doing. We already have our tickets to Last Jedi.
But, that's... So the way they've been doing the episode movies, it's every 2 years.
Yep.
So that would put this at episode 9.
Yeah, because they're interlaying the middle stories.
So, David Goyer, you might want to ask for a new date. I'm just saying. You don't have to take my word for it, but I'm just saying, you don't want to go up against Star Wars. Ain't enough He-Man fans in the world to save you from that shit.
Good luck. Good luck, David. Yes. I wonder who they're going to get that for that. Please do not do the Power Rangers route, for the love of God. Yeah. Do not go that Power Rangers route.
When you say live action He-Man, is there anybody that pops in your head that could possibly play He-Man?
Is there anyone in your particular mind?
Yes, but he's not a good actor. Well, I'm not going to say he's not a good actor. He's just not somebody that I would try to think of build an entire franchise. John Cena.
Wait, yeah, his body's...
Yeah, he's got the body for it or whatever.
But he is not a good actor.
He's not he's not a bad actor. He's like The Rock when Rock first started. Sure. Scorpion King is not good.
It's the best thing, though.
15 years later, he's the fucking #1 actor in the world.
But he's still in a lot of horrible movies.
Yeah.
I will fight everyone out there who's listening.
The Tooth Fairy.
Seriously, you name one movie that The Rock is in, and I'm saying he's the main star of it, or the second. Because I take the other guys out. I love that movie, but he's in it for 5 seconds.
Yep.
And it's hilarious, and that's actually my favorite thing he's in, technically. But you name a movie better than Scorpion King, objectively. Be objective about it. You look at how good his movies are. They're not good. He takes paychecks and he just does things.
Yeah. Fair. It's a fair assessment.
I mean, honestly, I would say the best wrestler who is...
he's the best mic performer in wrestling.
I mean, he's definitely eccentric, and I love him. I still love the guy.
Yeah.
I'm not giving him shit. He's just not in good movies. I'd say Batista is actually probably...
Better actor?
The better actor, and also he's just in better films.
Yeah.
Blade Runner, Guardians.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just, and also even Spectre. I mean, Spectre was not great, but his character in Spectre was awesome.
Yeah, he's whoever his agent is, or maybe it's just his, ability to get cast in these great movies. He's definitely got more successes than misses. In fact, I think he really hasn't. I mean, I'm only aware of like 4 films he's in, and all 4 of them are fucking great. So maybe he's done a couple of things that are off my radar, but
looking forward to more. We'll see how this He-Man thing goes down.
Yeah.
Batista could do something in it.
Could be. You never know.
Speaking of.
Could be.
Who knows?
As far as movies that came out on this day, so I was really finding next to nothing, but I did find one, and you'll enjoy this one. House of Frankenstein, 1944, came out December 1st. Why this is significant is this was essentially the Universal monster franchise version of the Avengers. So this movie has the Wolfman, has the Frankenstein's monster, has Dracula, and it has the Hunchback all in it.
I've never seen it, but I've heard of it.
Yeah.
And
I personally haven't seen it either. Like I said, 1944, I generally don't
go that far back.
Don't go that far back, nor do I have access to a film that's that old.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going back that far. I'm starting to a lot more, and actually really enjoying it. So I'm sure I'll watch it someday, but man, just...
House of Frankenstein. The original Avengers.
The original Avengers when they're all super team. The original Monster Squad.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Other than that, let's go ahead and get into the final little bit. It's oh shit! Wrong button. Abort.
You're old.
Okay, so there's a couple celebrity birthdays.
Nelson gets me every time.
Yeah, I love it. Like I said, I could push that button 20 times a day and I'd still laugh. Today, December 1st, Woody Allen was born.
Interesting character.
Very interesting character. Has a really eccentric personal life.
Yeah. Speaking of accusations and such earlier.
Yeah.
If
you
don't see me, I'm tugging my shirt right now.
So Woody Allen's 82. Bette Midler.
Oh, okay.
72. She's one of those dynamic people that can sing, dance, act, do it all. I always associate her with the movie Hocus Pocus and a Simpsons episode.
Yep.
That's my not my comparison. My understanding of Bette Midler. Obviously, she's got a far-reaching career. That's, like I said, she's seen and done it all. She's a very talented woman. Happy birthday to her.
Happy birthday.
And finally, Sarah Silverman turns 47, which, for whatever reason, I did not think she was that old.
Oh, no, she looks like she's in her 30s.
She looks fantastic. So, happy birthday to those three. And
you're old.
Other than that, you want to go ahead and get into some questions? Or
do something else? Do a little plug first. On
you got a plug.
channel.
That's right, your YouTube channel.
So lately, I've actually been growing a lot in subscribers, and I'm actually really thankful. And if any of you people on the podcast are listening, I want to thank you so much for checking out my YouTube channel. If not, Nathan Jones, just type that in, Nathan Jones movie reviewer. If you type in just Nathan Jones, you're going to get an Australian actor who was in Troy, and he was the first guy who got stabbed in the neck. They called him out. If you've ever seen Troy, it's like the first scene. Yeah. They're like, there's two giant armies, and then...
the guy that fucked up right out of the gate.
Yeah, he shanked in the neck. Mm-hmm. They're like, let's go get a kill. He's like, he's in bed with his, a woman.
He's busy, yeah.
And I'm like, get your greatest warrior. Like, that's Nathan Jones. So if you type in Nathan Jones just in YouTube, you won't find me. However, if you type in Nathan Jones, the movie reviewer, you will. But... Anyway, I want to thank everyone for that. Some new things coming down my channel. I did a new channel kind of introduction, kind of just explaining all the different things that I do. I do movie reviews, new and old. I'll probably be doing 3 billboards outside of Ebbing, Missouri, probably later this week.
You've had a couple haul videos.
I do a lot of Blu-ray haul videos.
Some hunting videos.
And Blu-ray hunting videos, which I go out with my friends and go hunt. I'm sure Doug will be in one sometime. He's like, he's crossing his eyes. It's like, it'd be fun.
Yeah.
Then I also do top 10 lists. I do a genre series where I just kind of go into different directions. I do movie scores. I do like horror movies. I even did like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I kind of rank those. I did those kind of stuff. And also, then obviously, The Room, the thing that I recently done. So I did my first movie party. Mm-hmm. So it's picking up big time, and I'm really thankful. I just passed 200 subscribers. And I'm actually at 231 as of this.
Congratulations. That's quite an achievement.
So thank everyone. And let's get into the
questions
from the crowd. We actually got a lot today.
There's a lot, yeah. These are going to be hard. I saw some of them, and I was trying to think of answers for them. And there was other...
Well, we've already answered the first one.
Which one was it?
My friend Cameron asks, how would you fix the DC Universe?
Yeah, so I would release that Zack Snyder cut, and I would get yourself a Kevin Feige. Somebody that can plot out your entire extended universe from point A to point B. That way you're not fucking making this shit up on the fly, as you clearly are.
Clearly. And also, I actually watched some fan things. I'm pretty heavily invested in YouTube, and I watch a lot of people talking about and discussing these types of movies. And there was one particular one where the guy was talking about his problem with the DC Universe, and he pretty much boils it down to Marvel versus DC. Marvel actually reads the comics, where DC doesn't as much. They understand the characters. Okay, so for instance, he particularly critiqued Superman and Batman. With Batman's easy. He's just too mean. He is way too mean and doesn't care about other people. And Batman's whole job is to save ordinary people. Yeah. That's supposed to be his character.
DC's made him into a sociopath.
Yeah, he's almost kind of a villain. Mm-hmm. He's close to being that way, and you can tell in the movies he's in, he doesn't really care for anyone besides beating up the bad guys or killing them.
Yep.
And so, which is also against his kind of code.
Moral code.
But Superman is also just super divorced from humanity. He's supposed to be that character where you think. Because he grew up in Kansas, technically. He was born, obviously, on Krypton.
He was bred on Americana, and that's supposed to be his saving grace, is that he's one of us, but even though he's got all these special abilities.
And he can relax like one of us. He can even joke around.
He can blend in.
He can blend in very well. But in the movies,
you don't get that at all.
Super divorced from humanity. You get that in Justice League, like the first 5 minutes. Like, these kids ask him a question, and he just seems like...
Huh?
Like, how do I interact with these humans? I don't know how.
Hello, human. Pats them on the head.
And then crushes them in the ground.
Yeah.
He's so powerful.
I'm sorry.
Like, it just seems like he's not connected. Even in Man of Steel, he seemed conflicted there. Where, I love Henry Cavill. I'm not getting that wrong, but I think Zack Snyder wrote him wrong.
Yes.
Whoever directed him wrong. Whoever wrote the story. I think it was it written by Zack? I don't know.
I believe so.
But anyway, so those are some things. I think you just need to get people in there, like Doug said. Get someone in like Feige who actually cares. And a lot of the directors in Marvel care about... That's why Patty Jenkins did so well in Wonder Woman. She cared
about the character.
She cared about the character, and she really invested the time into it.
Yeah, because you can tell a lot of this is they think, it's kind of reverse thinking, that they're like, oh, okay, this person is Aquaman because we gave him a trident and we gave him a costume that resembles their comic counterpart.
Yeah.
That doesn't make him Aquaman. It makes him look like an Aquaman cosplayer. If you want to make him Aquaman, you've got to build on the character and their strengths, their weaknesses, and what makes them that character. What, drives them as a person.
Yeah.
Something they're failing at doing.
Exactly. All right, so let's move on to that. Similar. Friend Chris asks, speculate how you think Thanos will be defeated in Avengers 3 and 4. I think he says Adam will end up
Adam Warlock.
will end up with a fully powered gauntlet and crush Pooty.
So one thing I know for sure is Adam Warlock is not in Infinity War.
Okay. Well, he exists in there.
Yeah, I know he exists. They've said that he'll be in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, so we won't see him until then. So yeah, he may save the day, but it won't be until the final Avengers. I definitely think some people are going to die.
I hope. I was going to say I hope. No, I really do, because I want this universe to have consequences.
Yeah, it's going to have consequences, and they've already came out and said the Avengers 4 is going to provide something that no other film prior has done, and something no studio's ever attempted. They're going to put a fucking bookend on it. This is the end of the Avengers, as you know it.
Yeah.
What that means, how many people die, what happens to them, but they're basically telling you, prepare yourself. You might like Iron Man, Thor, and everybody now, but they're not going to be around forever. We're not going to recast these roles and just keep doing it over and over and over again. We're going to move on. We've got 2,000 plus characters we haven't even scratched the surface with.
And that actually gets back to where we didn't talk about it, but Kevin Feige apparently has the next 20
films
slated,
or 20 films, or 20, media outlets, whether it's TV show, live action, whatever.
But so I understand that, and the one thing that I didn't really like about Civil War was I think that Iron Patriot should have died there.
That was my critique as well, that there was no consequences to that movie, especially because that was the basis of the Civil War comic book, which is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Captain America dies. Fucking Spider-Man reveals his identity. Mm-hmm. Fucking
which is
Thor's nowhere to be around. Hulk gets sent off to Sakaar and starts fucking, Planet Hulk. There were so many amazing things that came out of the Civil War comic book that started all these other amazing stories that I love. So I got super excited when they made it into, a film adaptation.
And it was good.
It was good, yeah. But there just weren't any dire consequences that really lended itself to being that story.
And it didn't seem like they were they shouldn't have been as against each other as they. I get the whole Tony Stark's parents. Mm-hmm. I get that hatred, but it would have been even more impactful if Iron Patriot died, or someone died, or just obviously all we've really seen is Quicksilver.
Yeah,
that's it.
Dying,
which was okay. Well, X-Men has him too, so we're just gonna get rid of him.
Yeah, which was the real reason he was killed off, was basically they didn't want to share him with the Fox.
Yeah. So that's that's a good speculation. I don't know how it's going to happen, but how it's going to end. But I'm sure there's going to be some dire consequences there. Mm-hmm. Next is my friend Travis asks, please explain the ending of the movie Grease.
Are they on a Ferris wheel at the end? I'm trying to remember the ending. I know there's a song.
They just start singing at the outro. They see each other months later after everything happens. All the fallout, and they're it's Sandy, you look so different, and and
whatever happened to the pregnant chick? What's her name, Russo or whatever?
Oh yeah,
Rizzo. Yeah, completely ignored that.
It's just I'm not a big musical guy. I don't think Doug is either.
I know I enjoy musicals.
Okay,
that one is just. Obviously it's
Grease is fine.
It's fine, yeah.
It's got some good ones.
Grease 2 is even worse.
Oh well, yeah, I've seen it too, and so it's bad. We don't know. We don't know how the ending is.
No,
just song. It's a song.
Yeah. It's an allegory for the afterlife.
It's an allegory for if you've ever read Dante's Inferno, you get an understanding of what happens there. All right, my friend Josh, this is a good one. How do you best expose friends to different genres? I love movies, but for some of my loved ones, not so much. I've always wanted to watch Lord of the Rings with my fiance, for example, but she's not into fantasy. Is there a gateway drug list for different genres you could maybe provide?
Gateway drug is tricky, especially on the fly, but that is the avenue you need to go. So you need to find something...
Crossover movies,
that's where I'm going. Something that kind of...
Bridges both.
I'm not a horror guy. I don't enjoy horror movies. I think they're boring. But where I start to dip my toes into the horror franchise are things like Evil Dead,
Tucker versus Dale versus Evil.
Yeah, things of that nature. Have a little bit of comedy to add to this. Yeah. I enjoyed that.
Playful. You get to play with the horror genre.
Yeah. You don't start them out with Hostel.
Yeah.
You don't start.
No.
So, depending on whatever genre you're going towards, you need to. So, if you're trying to lean them towards sci-fi or fantasy or something like that, you got to start them off with like, I don't know.
I suggest The Fountain or Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. You go the route of it's romantic, but also, or even Interstellar.
Interstellar, yes, I think that would be a good one.
I like The Fountain a lot.
I like The Fountain a lot too. I just don't see a lot of people that are gonna.
I'm really biased to it.
And also, I think you're gonna lose people with that one.
I'm also getting some deja vu right now, but that's weird. I feel like we've talked about this before. Oh well.
Yeah. So yes, definitely get them with a crossover. Specifics, it's hard to.
It's hard to do it. Lord of the Rings, meal piece it, I suppose. I definitely just do one at a time. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can even watch the non-extended. I hate saying that a lot because I only really like the extended editions. It's the only real way to watch it, but meal piece it, I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. What my friend Dan asks, what are the top non-franchise Harrison Ford movies? Which is great. Air Force One.
The Fugitive.
Did I say Air Force One and Fugitive's great.
Yeah. What else is there?
So I'm just thinking of Blade Runner, and then I'm thinking of Indiana Jones and Star Wars. I get those out of my mind.
So this is not a good movie, but I always have this weird memory with Harrison Ford non-franchise films. Is I went to go see Armageddon.
Oh boy!
When I was like in 6th grade when it first came out or whatever, got dropped off at the movie. Parents or whatever read the movie time wrong, and it was off by like an hour or whatever. So we were dropped off. Car already left, and I was like, oh shit, we can't see Armageddon because it doesn't start for an hour and a half, and it's a 2-hour movie, and parents could come back pre-cell phone, blah 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 blah. So I was forced to choose the next available showing of whatever was playing.
Yeah. So
I watched 6 Days and 7 Nights with Harrison Ford and was Anne Hesh.
I never watched that, but I know
fucking
of it.
Terrible. But yeah, anytime I hear Harrison Ford's name, I obviously associate his good work, and then I'm like, oh, there was
that one time.
There's that one time I watched that fucking goddamn rom-com that was neither romantic nor comedic.
That reminds me, not anything to do with Harrison Ford, but there's a time where me and a friend fucked up. We didn't do any research on anything, and what happened was, he just turned 17 and I was 18 or something, and we went to Campbell 16 when it was open.
Yeah, and they wouldn't let you in.
Well, they wouldn't let us in, so we had to watch Bounty Hunter with Gerard Butler.
Oh, okay.
And we thought it was a cool sounding movie. We had no idea.
Wrong. Yeah.
And we were just like, about 20 minutes in, we're just like looked at each other and like,
this is not what we signed up for. This is a chick flick. Yeah.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on from there. I'm just going to ask a couple more. My friend Justin asks, why do a lot of Mel Brooks films get bad ratings?
Because people are hypersensitive.
Yeah, they're little bitches.
Yeah. Like Mel Brooks was way ahead of his time as far as pushing comedic boundaries.
Oh, yeah. And a lot of his movies...
He was Family Guy 25 years too soon.
Oh, yeah. And the thing is, like, even the ones that we all know that are like Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein, Spaceballs, Robin Hood Men in Tights, those are the ones we all know, but I've seen pretty much every film he's made, from like 12 Chairs, The Producers, High Anxiety.
Yeah, I was like, what?
He directed that John Cusack movie. Or even like Silent Movie, and they're fine. Some of them are really, really good. Producers are really good with Gene Wilder, but I don't know. I don't think people are exposed themselves enough.
No,
they don't want to step outside the comfort
He pushed
zone.
a lot of stereotype boundaries and a lot of satire boundaries, and I think that ruffles a lot of feathers naturally. So people are just a little bent out of shape.
Just go eat your ruffles if you're gonna ruffle your feathers. I don't know. Let's do 3 more. My friend Justin asks, from my friend Isaac, who's a huge Wes Anderson fan, what character do you think holds the highest importance in any Wes Anderson film, and why?
Max from Rushmore.
You
don't have that movie without him.
That's true.
I mean, the entire plot from start to finish revolves around him. He's a very central character. He fucking seals every scene he's in with anybody, and that's saying a lot with fucking Bill Murray on screen too.
And speaking of Bill Murray, I would go the route of Steve Zissou.
Yeah, that would be my second.
And now I will say that Wes Anderson, he normally doesn't actually focus on one person.
No.
He's very good at focusing on usually like a bunch of brothers.
Ensembles, yeah.
A bunch of brothers, or like, obviously you get like Darjeeling Limited, or you get the Royal Tenenbaums, or even Bottle Rocket, where you had all the Wilson brothers.
Yep.
And, or even, the newest one, Grand Budapest. I mean, Ralph Fiennes is the main actor in that movie, and he's hilarious. That's actually probably my favorite Wes Anderson. But I would say both Steve Zissou and, Life Aquatic, and also Rushmore, I would agree. Those are the kind of the quintessential character. And I would say that Rushmore, that's probably his most quintessential
film. Yeah, absolutely.
Because I think that represents
him in a nutshell. If you basically had to sum up Wes Anderson in one film, you would show Rushmore.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
That's a good question.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. This is a long one, so I'm just going to pick one. My friend Andrew asks, "What are your 10 best opening credits you've seen?"
Oh shit, that's 10's too many.
10's too many, so I'm gonna do 2.
Okay, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay,
that's one for me.
Mine is Star Wars Episode 4: New Hope.
Okay, another one would be Casino Royale.
And then my last one is The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford.
I can't remember what that is. I mean, I own the movie. I'm talking about what the intro.
The intro is just it establishes the uneasiness of Robert Ford coming. He's going through a field into this forest where it's like really you can see a lot of the light. Like I said, Roger Deakins.
When they walk up on a campfire.
Or walk up on the campfire. He's like touching some of the grass and stuff.
I got you now.
He kind of just he peers over. He stands by a tree and like kind of just looks at Brad Pitt's character, and like you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, in that first 5 minutes, you sense he's both jealous and all this thing. Yeah.
So I love that scene. But those are Casino Royale. That's probably my favorite Bond movie.
Yep. All those Daniel Craig James Bond movies have amazing opening sequences.
And then, obviously, Star Wars is just self-explanatory. New Hope. And then...
If they would have shot that fucking ship down, it would have been over. There's no life forms in this. That's alright, let it go. No, fuck you. Follow protocol. Shoot that bitch down.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
Darth Vader would have been like, no, I know what's in there. R2. Or he's just like, no, C3... He's like, I love C-3PO. I built him, so I don't want to hurt him. And then, last question. Actually... There's only a couple. Yeah, we'll just do one more.
All right.
I already know. I mean, let's do 2 more since it's in. I know the last question's a better one.
Okay.
Nothing. No offense, Ben. Just not a good way to end. Opinions on the Human Centipede franchise. Oh, fuck. See, I don't want to end that on that.
No, you don't.
Bad. I don't like them.
Bad, terrible. It's the fact that it became a franchise is a very. It's torture porn.
Yeah, we already went over how we don't like torture.
Don't like torture porn.
Go away.
I don't have enough terrible things. I mean, the only positive is that, hey, somebody's trying to push boundaries. So good for them. That's what, society needs is boundaries being pushed, questions being asked, but
yeah,
I don't want to answer those questions.
And since it's almost the holiday, since it's December 1st, the best question to ask is Die Hard the best Christmas movie?
Oh, yeah. We
both said yes.
Yeah, I thought you were going to ask, is it a Christmas movie?
Of course it is.
Yeah, which is a no-brainer. And then, is it the best Christmas movie? Yeah, also.
It's the best Christmas movie.
Yeah, it's not Christmas until somebody gets thrown off fucking Nakatomi Flower.
And then the policeman is startled.
Yeah.
The security... Oh, shit!
Fucking, what's his name? Carl from Family Matters?
Yep. It's just...
Little did you know that Family Matters was a direct sequel to the Die Hard franchise.
That's actually what happened to him after the fact.
After he said, he's like, you know what? I'm sick of this shit. I'm going to Chicago. I'm going to hang out in the burbs, be a beat cop.
Just too good. All right, well, Christmas time's upon us. I will do one more before the year's out. So, you have any final thoughts?
Jingle bells, Batman smells,
Robin laid an egg. Shit.
Too late. You fucked it up.
I fucked it up.
No saving it. All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening. I appreciate it.
Bye. Oh, bye, Mark.